This video is titled A 48-year-old Virgin's Shocking View of Sex or a Middle-Aged Virgin's Shocking View of Sex. And this isn't clickbait, folks. Um, Based on what people perceive a virgin to be in terms of their sexual attitude, I have a very contrarian attitude. I am one of the most sexually liberal people on YouTube, probably one of the most sexually liberal people on the planet. And it's very simple. Um, if you're a virgin, clearly it's a shocking view. Vir- most virgins, most virgins, folks, don't believe in recreational sex. At 48 years old, they don't believe in recreational sex. They don't defend group sex. They don't defend adult films. They don't defend sex work. I'm one of those virgins. Now, many people will say, "Well, you want to go to you probably want to go to a sex worker." Well, first of all, that's illegal, um, except in certain parts of Nevada. And number two, I don't have money for it. Has nothing to do with it because I defend gay sex workers. The bottom line is, folks, is that I have a very super liberal attitude, and the incels, I don't really jive with the religious folks who want to wait till marriage when they're 50 years old. I don't jive with. There's my values don't fit their values. Now, my sexual liberalism isn't based on whether I will engage in these activities. If I can't find a partner who wants to engage in these activities, I won't be engaging these activities. But I do defend these sexual behaviors. I mean, I'm probably the only virgin on YouTube who does. Maybe there are other virgins. I haven't seen them. Okay. And it's weird because I'm a 48-year-old virgin and you have incels and you have um religious folks who are virgins, and I don't fit into any of those categories. I don't understand their philosophy. I really truly don't understand their philosophy. I don't understand the philosophy of virginity until marriage. I don't understand the philosophy that your penis is some type of gift that you give to somebody. I find that silly. Okay. And I'm sorry to be that way. I'm sorry to be crabby that way. But people, I mean, again, if people knew I were a virgin, that's what they would expect. They would expect I'm either religious or I'm an incel, and I'm not. I'm just a guy who has not had sex. Okay? Simple as that. Why? Because I'm not really urgent about it. It's funny, I do enjoy or I do enjoy the fantasy of sex. I do enjoy the curiosity about sex, but when it comes down to it, I don't have that urgency. And I'm 48 years old. I know people are like, "Oh, you're never going to find that partner. You're going to be lonely." See, I don't worry about that stuff because I don't think sex is a necessary component of my humanity. And that's why I try to tell the incels, but some incels just don't listen. They think it's a necessary component of their humanity, and that's why they're miserable. And I'm not. Now I heard one incel tried to imply that I'm miserable by saying misery loves company. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You may be miserable, but I'm not. I'm not miserable because I don't have a life partner. There's other things that I want far more than sex. Again, I do like sex. I do fantasize. I mean, I do like sex in terms of wanting to know how it feels. I'm sure it feels very good. That's why I want to have it. But this notion that I need it, I absolutely need it, or I'm going to be lonely and I'm going to be isolated. Well, if you don't have friends and if you don't engage in any other social activities as a social creature, again, if you don't engage in other activities as a social creature, of course you're going to be isolated. Sex in of itself doesn't make you isolated, folks. It's being non-social in the other areas, and I think that's what many incels are. They're not social in any area, and they wonder why they're lonely. It's not because you don't have a girlfriend; it's because you're not social. Yes, we are social creatures, and there was this guy named John M. who's tried to tell me this, like as if I don't know it. Okay, you being a social creature doesn't mean that sexual contact is the only physical contact or the most essential physical contact that you need to avoid loneliness. There's a lot of people who have sex tons of times. They're still lonely. They still feel lonely. So again, you're using sexuality as a crutch for your loneliness. And what you need to do is to be a greater social creature. But anyways, the bottom line is that you just listen to how I talk about incels, and you listen to how I talk about these other types of virgins. You can just sense that I'm not like every other virgin.
If you enjoyed this video and support progressives like the Young Turks, Secular Talk, David Pac-Man, Vosh, please visit the Debunk the Right channel, where there are over 75 videos which debunk right-wing nonsense from the likes of Officer Tatum, Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, and the loudmouth of Crowder, Steven Crowder. You can access this channel by either hitting the channel icon below this vid or clicking the link in the pinned comment in the comments section.